Good evening. Good evening, everybody. We're going to call this meeting to order at 5:02 p.m. We are doing a hybrid meeting today. One of our board members is joining us virtually, so I have a script. I, Marie Lopez, the president of the governing board, call this regular board meeting of the San Ysidro School District to order at 5:02. This San Ysidro School District governing board meeting will be held in person at Smythe Elementary School and will be conducted in a hybrid format, in person and via Zoom teleconference. The public may view this meeting by accessing the YouTube link provided on the agenda. And to listen to this meeting in Spanish, please call area code 720-500-3091 and enter the access code 427-776-902#. Para escuchar esta junta en español, por favor llame al área 720, número 500-3091 y ingresa el código 427-776-902 y signo de gato. Dr. Potter, as Superintendent and Secretary to the Board, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. President. Agenda item number 2, roll call, beginning with board member Zenaida Rosario.
Present.
Thank you. Board member Antonio Martinez.
Present.
Thank you. Board clerk Irene Lopez.
Present.
Thank you. Board vice president Rosalia Palacide.
Present.
Thank you. Board president Rudy Lopez.
Here.
Mr. President, all 5 board members are here.
Thank you very much. Item number 3 is corrections and additions to the agenda. If there are no corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve. So
Second.
Mr. Martinez makes a motion, Ms. Palacida a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes by unanimous vote. Item number 4 is public comment communication on closed session item. I have 3 in person. Do we have any email?
No telephonic and no email for 5 p.m.
Okay, so we have 3 for this session. First up is Natalie LaRosa. Natalie, you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. This is item 5.2. I'm going to start out positive, like we do at parent conferences, since they're coming up. First, I'd like to thank you for agreeing to the COVID leave hours and making San Ysidro possibly the first district to extend the COVID leave that expired on September 30th. That's something to be really proud of. It's a way to show that you value us. Now we don't have to worry about losing days or pay if we get COVID. We also appreciate that the district is now open to finally acknowledging the great difficulty of teaching combination classes and in the form of a stipend. This is great progress, since forever teachers in San Ysidro have been given combination classes with no extra compensation. I still don't ever want to teach a combo class, but now if I ever do, at least I'll feel a little bit better about that, but please don't do that to me next year. I believe it's important to celebrate and acknowledge successes and improvements, and especially what is good. But noticing the positive doesn't make us blind to reality. There is always room for improvement. SYEA leadership has a responsibility to our members and to the San Ysidro students to make this school district the very best place to work and learn. So when new teachers are coming to me and telling me that they regret signing on with San Ysidro, that makes me very sad. I know we can do much better. I'm not lying when I'm saying this is happening. I even had a new teacher ask me on the second day back, even before students arrived, if she could quit. I know this is not what you want for San Ysidro. From what I understand, all districts in California received 11% more in funding this year. This funding is meant to increase services to students. The best way to increase services to students is to make sure you retain quality teachers. For years now, we have been losing special ed teachers especially. They go to districts where they feel more supported and where they are paid better. When special ed teachers leave and a class is taught by a substitute for weeks or months, the students suffer greatly. Other teachers end up having to do their IEPs, and then they get stressed out, they go on sick leave, and then their students suffer too. One easy way to keep teachers from leaving and to keep those students from losing instructions is to use that 11% to increase salaries. Another way is to treat special education teachers as you treat general ed teachers. In general ed, over the years, we have been able to negotiate maximum class sizes. As much as we love our students, we can do a better job when we have a manageable amount of them in our classrooms. Then we can give them the individualized attention they need. I know, for example, that my 6th grade classroom can have 28 students in it and possibly up to 32, but that I will be compensated if there are more than 28. SPED teachers can't count on that because they have no maximum numbers. And those are the students that really need a guaranteed small class. We have never been able to negotiate numbers for them, and I don't understand that. We've let them down. As a parent, I know that I would prefer to have my child in a smaller class. The other day, the bargaining team and I looked at the enrollment numbers, and we noticed that what we proposed as far as class size for special ed will really not cost the district much. It will be an easy way to create some equity for SPED teachers and students. They should have maximum numbers just like the rest of us. Finally, another way to keep our teachers is to offer them competitive health care. Obviously, we can't compare with San Diego. They get 100%, right? But to always be on the very bottom when it comes to health care, it's just so disappointing. What we ask for won't even get us close to that. We'll still be at the bottom. But at least it'll be a step in the right direction. So let's just resolve this before the year's over and save us a lot of time and energy. The district can afford a reasonable raise for our members. They just need to move around the way they're budgeting their money, more for direct services to students through the teachers, and less to such things as consultants. The sooner we resolve this, the better for everyone. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, San Ysidro School Board members and San Ysidro admin, Dr. Potter. I'm here again asking for your attention on an issue. How can you be all right with offering us the hardworking teachers, speech pathologists, psychologists, counselors, a mere 3%? Other districts are all offering more than 6% in salary increases. And then I will give you some examples. Alpine Union School District, 6%. Valley Center Palma Unified, 6.56%. Steel Canyon High School, 6.56%. Helix High School, 6.56%. Grossmont Union, 6.56%. Escondido Union High School, 6.92%. Escondido Union Elementary, 7.0%. Lakeside Union Elementary, 7.6%. And My Hero National City School District, a 9%. And then there's San Ysidro, feeling gracious with a 3%. On a year with the highest COLA ever, you come back with them. We are disrespected again. You need to stay competitive with other San Diego County districts. Let's negotiate the real COLA and stop hiding money. I feel like I went back in time when the district hid money in books and supplies. Now it's all about the consultant services and your 2 assistant superintendents that you're bringing in. Do we really need 2 more? Let me tell you secrets. Consultants and extra superintendents don't improve academics, teachers do. So do the fair thing and give us a fair competitive rate.
Thank you, Gabriela. Next up is Eliud Bagala.
It's like a deja vu again. I am Eliud Lagarda from Ocho Mil Hills. I have been here at the district for 22 years. It's kind of emotional again. Because bad administrations get gone. Many superintendents are gone. But we're still here. I'm here as the voice of our union. Everything was fine. We feel respected, validated. But now when we see these facts presented by the union, we don't feel appreciated. Every day as a teacher, we get these notes. They touch my heart. That's why I'm here, because I'm committed in creating these lessons. And sorry, best teacher ever. But this is a food for the soul. But we have to be real. We need also pay our bills and keep up with inflation. You ask us to be effective teachers, to create lessons, to evaluate the students, to have the classes, to create creative lessons, to keep engaged the students, be fair and equal, to create a safe environment for our students. We are asking the same way that you ask us to create a safe environment and respectful for all students, we're asking you the same. As administrators, we trust you and we believe that you are capable, as we are capable of creating a safe environment in our class, you are capable to create a safe and respectful environment in our whole district. Thank you.
That's the end of public comment on closed session items. We're going to move on to item number 5. And I'll entertain a motion to recess into governing board into closed session on the following items. 5.1, confidential student matter. 5.2, government code section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiators. 5.3, government code section 54957, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, or reassignment. 5.4, conference with legal counsel pending litigation. And 5.5 is public comment, public employee employment pursuant to government code section 54957. So move.
Second.
Mr. Martinez makes the motion, Ms. Passigue is a second. All those in favor? Aye. Unmute, Ms. Rosario.
She's on mute.
Like she's on mute.
Can you thumbs up, Ms. Rosario?
Oh, okay, I was on mute. Imagine me on mute. Okay, yes.
Thank you very much. The motion passes by unanimous vote. We're going to recess at 5:15 p.m. We're gonna call the meeting back into order at 6:11 p.m. Mr. Sanchez, can you please report out from closed session?
Yes, Board President, there's one item to report out from closed session. It's item 5.1. The board unanimously approved an agreement to resolve the disciplinary matter of ID number 173950. The motion was made by Board Member Martinez, seconded by Board Member Irene Lopez. And as a result, item 13.4 will be vacated from the open session agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. At this time, I have a scripture read because we're in a hybrid format. Irene Lopez, the president of the governing board, called this regular board meeting of the San Ysidro School District back into order at 6:11 p.m. The San Ysidro School District Governing Board meeting will be held in person at Smythe Elementary School and will be conducted in a hybrid format, both in person and via Zoom teleconference. The public may view this meeting by accessing the YouTube link provided on the agenda. To listen to this meeting in Spanish, please call area code 720-500-3091 and enter the access code 427-776-902 pound. Para escuchar esta junta en español, por favor llame al 720-500-3091 y ingrese el código 427-776-902 y signo de grado. Dr. Potter, as superintendent and secretary to the board, can you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. President. Agenda item number 7, roll call. Board member Zenaida Rosario.
Present.
Board member Antonio Martinez.
Present.
Board clerk Irene Lopez. Present. Board vice president Rosalia Calasigue.
Present.
Board president Rudy Lopez.
Here.
Mr. President, all 5 board members are here.
Thank you, Dr. Potter. Item number 8 is the flag salute, and to lead us in the flag salute, we have 6th grader from Smythe Elementary, Gavin Barron.
And right here, there it is. That's good right there. Anytime you're ready, we're on your cue.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. For your right hand or your heart, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Gavin. Let me take your picture. You're famous now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Great job.
Thank you, Gavin. Now moving on to item number 9 is the distinguished champions. Mr. Mata.
Yes, sir. Good evening, board. Good evening, superintendent, cabinet. Good evening, audience, and welcome to the meeting. Now the fun part. This is where we recognize our distinguished champions. And first up is Mr. Russell Little, principal of Smythe Elementary.
Good evening, everybody. I have 4 distinguished champions from Smythe School. The first one, Carmela Aparicio. Her teacher, Ms. La Rosa. And Ms. La Rosa is right here behind us. And she says that Carmela is very positive, always on task, well-behaved, respectful, and hardworking. She's excelling in all subjects, and she's also creative and inquisitive. She participates and often volunteers to read, and she gives an opinion, and she helps others. Congratulations, felicidades.
Oh, we were here, you wanted to have.
Take a picture of all this.
One.
Next up, Ysidro Ayala. Sixth grader, in room 11, teacher, Ms. Brunetto. And Ms. Brunetto writes, since the beginning of the year, she's seen Ysidro demonstrate a sincere desire to improve in all academic areas. If she doesn't know or understand, she asks for help. As such, she has made excellent progress in writing and in her ability to complete a constructive response. She embraces a growth mindset, and she takes suggestions and she applies it to her work. She always strives to improve. She shows leadership in her behavior as well, and in all my dealings with her, she attempts to do the right thing and shows empathy towards others. She engages in conversation during social emotional learning and exhibits interest in developing her social emotional skills. Congratulations, Ysidro. And again, we present Mr. Gavin Barron. Gavin is a sixth grader in room 15, and his teacher is Ms. Pena Pitts. Gavin is an excellent role model for all. He exemplifies our school motto, safe, respectful, and responsible. He's always willing to help others and contributes to a wonderful classroom environment. Congratulations, Gavin.
Hey, Gavin.
Good job, buddy.
And finally, from room 7, unfortunately, fortunately, she had a sibling celebrating a birthday and they weren't able to make it tonight. And the honoree from room 7 is Myra Vasquez. Room 7, Mr. Iniguez. Myra is a great role model. She shows appropriate learning behaviors during academic time. She's a great role model and she almost has perfect attendance. Congratulations, Myra. We'll give you a award for that.
Go. I'll get a picture, yeah, Mr. Little, and then parents, after I get a picture, then I'll have you come up, okay? Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, don't move. Okay, parents, come on, go ahead, come on.
Thank you, guys. I'm like, yay, that's my son.
Nice. Good job, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You wanna?
There's water, you guys, there's water and cookies there. Okay, you guys, please grab some. Okay? There's water and cookies. Okay, our next presenter is Ms. Manuela Colon.
Good evening, Board President Lopez, board members, Dr. Potter, cabinet and teachers and members of the audience. Today, I'm very honored and to be here to recognize La Mirada staff, the entire school. And the reason for that is we had a very unlikely situation last Monday. The school was on lockdown the entire day. And the way this staff came together with the leadership of Ms. Laura English, the way they came together, how they worked cohesively in a very challenging situation and they supported each other. We just feel that they need to be recognized because it was a challenging day, and they maintained a positive environment for the children. They try to make it as happy as possible for the children and nurture the children. So that's why we're here, to recognize La Mirada, because their work and collaboration was greatly appreciated in a very difficult time. So I would like to call Ms. Laura English, Principal of La Mirada. Oh, and Marlo Vasquez, I'm sorry, the assistant principal. We have some of the staff, do you want to call some of your staff members here? And I'll call them.
Because we can have the.
I mean, our staff, if they can stand up. So, well, I can go on the Miss Judy Crespo. We have Miss Michelle Rivera.
The staff is watching virtually, and I just want to say that I'm so proud of my staff, very courageous, very kind, very caring. So thank you. Let me have a staff.
I don't know with COVID. With COVID, let's just stop.
Okay, so let's center a little bit more. Yeah, this way we got a bigger group, and then everybody else come in there. Perfect. Yeah.
Sorry, they don't want their photo with us.
I just want to add, there was another important person who played a big role that day, and he's an ex-principal of La Mirada, Mr. Luis Ramos. Thank you for standing guard all day.
All right, Ms. Colon, get in the picture.
Miss Colon too, Miss
Come on, Ms.
Colon was
Colon.
a wonderful.
It was a whole team effort.
Very good team effort.
Okay, you ready? If I can get everybody. Yep, I even got Miguel. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Moving on to item number 10 is public comment. We have one in-person speaker, Cynthia Vinaro, with time needed from Jorge Garcia.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Potter, members of the board, cabinet, our principals, teachers, and parents. My name is Cynthia Vinarao, and I've been a teacher for 26 years. 25 have been right here in the San Ysidro School District at Sunset Elementary. I'm speaking on behalf of my fellow teachers, and I'd like to begin with a quote by Donald D. Quinn. If a doctor, lawyer, or dentist had 40 people in his office at one time, all of whom had different needs, and some of them who didn't want to be there and were causing trouble,
and the doctor, lawyer, or dentist without assistance had to treat them all with professional excellence for 9 months, then he might have some conception of a classroom teacher's job. Teaching has always been challenging, but the past few years have really taken a toll. With COVID has come a severe loss in learning and emotional distress. Students have been profoundly affected. I'm a second grade teacher, but in reality, I teach kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. Throughout the district, teachers are teaching multiple grade levels, even though they're assigned one. All of our students have different needs, learning styles, and the majority need extra language support. We have to differentiate instruction in order to meet them where they're at. Dealing with egregious student behavior has escalated since schools reopened after the pandemic closures. Teachers are also not feeling appreciated, and we deal with more than educational issues. Families stressed and worried about whether their children are behind academically or are dealing with their own personal problems and loss of family or income many times take out their frustrations on teachers. Nevertheless, we still treat students and their parents with professional excellence. Teaching is one of the few professions that even after we receive our hard-earned paycheck, money still goes back into our classrooms. Many of us spend because we want to have an inviting classroom environment, need rewards and incentives to encourage positive student behavior. And because we need to supplement our district's adopted ELA and math programs. Just one example, our second grade math matrix for Unit 2, which is what we're currently teaching, has second grade operations and algebraic thinking, teaching odd and even numbers, and there's exactly one lesson in our math workbooks. We supplement by either purchasing materials or creating our own. That's just one example of a standard. Teachers deserve the 11% raise that's being bargained right now, not 3%. Inflation is putting pressure on our already financially strapped educators. Gas prices have gone up severely, as well as the cost of putting food on the table. I have 2 children in college, and I don't receive a lot of financial aid. We are all feeling the pinch of this financial hardship. The cost of living adjustment is necessary if the district wants to attract and retain teachers. There is truly a desperate need for a wage increase. This year, inflation is over 8.3%. But if teacher salaries continue to shrink against soaring inflation, we are effectively being asked to take pay cuts. Many teachers work a shocking amount of overtime hours. How many of us arrive at school before our contract time and then stay after school as well? We're preparing for the week ahead by lesson planning, looking for supplemental materials, and trying to make copies with machines that honestly don't always work. Many of us routinely take work home to continue the lesson planning, prepare for special activities, grade tests and assignments, and fill out forms for students with special needs or SSTs. We work overtime above and beyond our hours, and it's all unpaid. We pour our heart and soul into our students. I've been a teacher in this district for 25 years, and I know teachers who have worked longer. I believe it is time to ask for a pay raise that is commensurate with our heavy workload, experience, and dedication. I've researched and know the average salary for neighboring school districts. In comparison to South Bay Union, Chula Vista, and National City, which all have similar student populations, we're below our peers on the certificated salary schedule, specifically at the last step in range. There is a difference of $5,000 to $6,000 for experienced veteran teachers. This is a huge disparity. We are college education professionals. The hardworking teachers of the San Ysidro School District deserve a salary increase. Some people consider teachers glorified babysitters. You've probably heard that before, right? If only that were true. The average cost of a babysitter is about $17.50 an hour. Multiply that times 6.5 hours. $113.75 times 24 kids. Some people have more than that. $2,730 times 180 school days equates to $491,400 per school year. Imagine receiving the babysitter rate, and that's not even dealing with behavior problems. When I told my parents I wanted to become a teacher, they initially discouraged me. My typical Filipino parents wanted me to become a doctor or a lawyer because they said I'd make more money and have significantly less headaches. But I love kids. I truly love them. That's why I'm an educator. Although we serve students and we are in this profession for the outcome, ultimately we deserve a fair income. We are worth the 11% raise. Thank you for your time.
We received some email public comments ahead of the meeting. Mr. Mata will now read those comments into the record.
Good evening again. We do have 3, Mr. President. The first one is from Ms. Alana Arciaga Laurino, and she writes, "Good evening, Superintendent Potter and members of the board. My name is Alana Arciaga Laurino, and I am a sixth grade teacher at Sunset Elementary School. I'm writing to you to express to you all my deepest concerns. I have been an employee with the San Ysidro School District for 15 years and have taken many roles asked of me, such as an intervention support teacher, a special education teacher, a general education teacher. According to statistics, in the last 12 months, inflation has increased over 8.2%, and a year before, inflation had increased 8.3%. Not to mention that cost of living, gas prices, groceries, and prices of necessities have also increased, making it very difficult for teachers to make ends meet, especially those that solely have and are single income households. We need a fair salary increase, and the disrespectful 3% that you offered is not enough. We deserve better than that. We, the teachers, work extremely hard to make our students successful, which in turn makes you look successful. So please, when you say that we mean so much to you, don't just say it. Please show it by giving us a better raise. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Alana Arciaga Laurino." Next public comment from Maria Karina Kai. "Superintendent Potter, members of the board. My name is Karina Kai, and I am a sixth grade teacher at Sunset. We live in a society where it's considered taboo to speak about money. However, for the sake of my family and my fellow teachers, I will make an exception here today. I'll start by saying that I'm lucky. I am part of a dual income family, and while having a second income at home certainly softens the blow, our wages have consistently declined against inflation, which has now climbed to over 8%. This means that our rent, utilities, food, gas, and daycare have also increased to the point that we had to considerably change our budget to be financially conservative, as we do not know when the prices will stop rising. Sadly, I am not the only one. Many of my fellow teachers are in the same position or worse than me. Amongst us, there are single income families and single parents who love to teach but are struggling to make ends meet. This is unacceptable, especially in light of the historic funding that California schools are receiving thanks to Proposition 98, which is scheduled to increase our district's budget by millions of dollars. I understand the district does not have unlimited resources, and that they must manage many budgetary priorities beyond staff salary. But if teacher salaries continue to shrink against inflation, teachers are effectively being asked to take pay cuts to subsidize the cost of other district priorities out of their own personal finances. This is, of course, on top of all the money that we pour into our students in classrooms to give them opportunities they won't have otherwise. We can't continue like this. We need a fair salary increase now. 3% is not enough. In fact, it is insulting. When just a few years ago, we were praised for our love of the students and our tireless dedication to our craft. Appreciation is not enough. We need more than that. We deserve better than that, all caps. So I urge you to put your money where your mouth is, because actions speak louder than words. Thank you for your time. Third one, Tegli Saron. And it says, offer, and this is the topic, is offer of 3% raise is an insult to students and teachers. It's simple. The teacher-student relationship is at the heart of education. They only offer a 3% raise when the district has received more than 10% of COLA is downright disrespectful. Why not show how much you respect and cherish teachers by passing along the full COLA? Five question marks. If you want happy students, it starts with their teachers. If you care about students, give us the full COLA. Students deserve to have teachers that are not resentful of feeling undervalued. Again, the most important relationships happen in the classroom between students and their teachers. Explanation. That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mata. Item number 11 is item from the board and superintendent, Ms. Rosario.
Yes, okay. Good evening and thank you for providing this opportunity to me to be present via Zoom. I want to reflect a little on the events of the past few weeks. Well, to be more specific, 10 days ago, in La Mirada with a very serious incident that occurred and it was resolved in a peaceful manner. That situation was very scary, being that it occurred so close to La Mirada. We, San Ysidro School Board and staff and administrators are extremely proud of the entire La Mirada staff and Mrs. English's leadership throughout this ordeal. We want you to know that we are proud as to how you all handled this situation. We care about what you went through. And as a district, we want to give you support. We thank the San Diego Police, of course, for keeping the area safe for our students and staff as well. We value every person who makes our district a safe place to learn for all our students. And because of this, it was extremely important that we recognize each and every person from La Mirada for your bravery and your unconditional teamwork that you pulled together on that day. I want to say you truly exemplify the strength of an eagle, and we're very proud of you. And I wanted just to make sure that we all as a staff and board commend you and know that we are here to continuously support. We know that schools are no longer what it used to be. We go in and we're happy and we're dedicated. We're teaching our students, and now we have so many outside factors that can just affect us in the moment of a day. So thank you again to the entire staff. And I know that with that situation, we will all learn from the experience, and just keep up the great work. We're proud of you, and fly Eagles. And also just want to comment, as a teacher, once a teacher, you're always a teacher. And I know I have faith that our board and our district, our negotiating team, we will settle with our teachers, and I know it will be something that will be, it's going to bring us together in unity. And I have flashbacks of negotiations in past years, having been a teacher for 38 years, and the experiences were not always positive. But I know that this staff, this board, the negotiating team, we're all going to work together. It will be transparent, and I know the negotiation will turn out positive. So I thank all of you who have come forward to speak on behalf of educators. What you do is priceless, and never feel that you are not appreciated, because you truly are. And this is a different board from past years. And I know that we're all going to work together with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you do every single day. And I know students look up to you daily, and even in the future, they're going to always remember what their teachers, the impact you have on their lives. So I thank you, and have a great week and weekend. Go Padres! Got to put that one in. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Rosario. Mr. Martinez.
Ms. Rosario, I just have to say that every time you speak, I feel like it gives me energy. So I just want to thank you for your words.
Thank you.
I miss you. You're with me though.
I'll be there next time. Hopefully, we'll see.
I want to reiterate the same thing Mr. Rosario said. First thing, obviously, I want to give thank you to Mr. Little for hosting us here. When the incident in La Mirada happened, I live on Avenida de la Cruz, which is the street literally right in front. So I peek out my window and I see the police officer there, literally closing my street down. And obviously the first thing I think of, something's not going right. Go outside and the police officer tells me that there's an incident happening right above in the community 4 houses north of where I live. And obviously the first thing I do is I call Dr. Potter, and frankly, I was concerned for the safety of not just the community, but also the school. And just to know that she was already on top of it. And the teachers and classified and Mrs. English, who's here with us today, they're on top of it. Mrs. Colon, who's on top of it, brought me great joy to know that safety comes first. But it also raises concern for me because I want to make sure that we have a game plan in set. I know obviously that incident was outside of the school, but I really would like to take a closer look in upcoming meetings of a safety game plan for all schools, particularly when it comes to not just incidents outside, but also incidents inside, because the safety of staff, the safety of students is the most important thing above everything else. But I just want to give a special thank you and another round of applause to the La Mirada team that's here with us today. You know, the other thing I want to just add, because I know that we're in the middle of negotiations and whatnot, but I just want to say that when it comes to the work that teachers and classified have done and our admin team, it's been difficult, especially during the pandemic. And that's something I want to emphasize because in the entire county of San Diego, our zip codes, 92173 and 92154, were the hardest hit in the county of San Diego. And when I think about that, what we've been through with that, the fact that we have a lot of families who had other members that were, unfortunately, they passed away, families that were hospitalized, individuals that are hospitalized, we've been through a lot. And I just want to say from my end of it, and I'm sure the rest of the board agrees, that we want to get this done. And we want to make sure teachers and later classified, they get the respect that they deserve. And I've always been supportive of teachers and classified and always will be. So know that, we're going to work together and we're going to get this done. And that's really all I have to say from mine.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Well, I also want to give Ms. Rosario a hand of applause because it was her idea to recognize the staff at La Mirada. And, but you were the one who initiated it. We saw the letter. So I think that was great of her. And I was dropping off my granddaughter when the cops were blocking, and I thought, oh, and I turned around, I thought they were gonna give me a ticket, but I turned around in the middle of the street, I came back, and then I had to go down through San Ysidro Boulevard and then go up Smythe to get to Smythe. But then the parents were all at Smythe, were asking, what's going on, what's going on? Then they blocked the street of Avenida La Merced, so you couldn't go straight, you had to go down Forest Week or to the left. But that was really a scary moment, and I thought because parents were scared, saying, oh no, we gotta get our kids home, we can't leave them. And that was at Smythe, and I thought, no, the police are there. And then I said, something else happened, I don't know, I'll go back. And so that was really a moment that I brought back, what it brought me back, and I know it shouldn't have, but it brought me back to the McDonald's massacre, because my family was down there, my dad was down there, and I always think the scariness that we felt when they told us that there was somebody shooting there. But I look at that and I think, okay, we need to change. We need to continue finding better safety ways. I look at the schools and I think, okay, I know we've talked about this, but really our schools, there's no cameras, they had an incident on one of the schools that a person jumped over the fence. Anybody can do that. And I just wonder, right now, the way things are going, you don't know who can come on the campus without even going through the office. If the office can't see you, they don't know. But I see parents do that they go straight into the door, but they're going another way. So I think it's something that we need to really work on and be very secure about what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I want to say something else that I've been saying. And Marilyn, our lady with the money, I wanted to know that I want you to look back, and I don't want something to happen to our kids, but right now you talk about COVID, it's not just us, it's our children that have gone through COVID. They're back in school and they can't go, they can't. And it's also stressful for the teachers because how can they help? they try to teach them, and you have to have a lot of patience, you have to understand. You know, I don't as a grandparent, and I wonder what's gonna happen to the children. So I really, we need to really look at bringing in counselors again, but I mean full-time, psychologists and social workers at each elementary school. That is something we need to do, because I don't want any child to go through what my grandchild is going through. And it's something that's, we don't understand, but thanks to our special ed specialists, psychologists that work a lot and know and can actually explain to us why she's that way. And it's something that we didn't look at or really realize. So I think that's what I want. I want that to come by. I want it to be done, because it's only a few children, but no, if you go in each school, you see them there with a psychologist in the office, they're asking for help. And there's not enough people to do it. So I think that's another issue that we need to really look at and help these kids, because when they leave us, we don't know what their future's gonna be if they have something that's bothering them and we're not helping them. So I really, I'm gonna keep bugging you and telling you, we need that money in their budget in that to bring those forces to our community. Thank you. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. There was something else. I went today to, no, cut off. Okay. We have a, Casa Familiar is doing a little, it's called La Semilla. It's a little area that they're gonna build for the community, but it's a very nice idea that I hadn't seen something like that in San Ysidro for a long time. They're doing a lot of little things like planting flowers on outside of the alley where there's no lights, but it's bringing from people tagging the walls, drawing beautiful pictures of flowers, of anything you want. But that's something that we need to change also here. But I want to let you know that they are really into doing it, and their kids, their young kids that belong to a group of theirs are doing the drawings, beautiful artists. And there's some of our kids that are in our schools that are doing that painting and the drawing. And that's another thing. We need to bring that back to our kids. We need to bring a lot more than just art, but also I'd like to see ballet folklorico. I'd like to see different dances. I'd like to have a mariachi at our middle school. You know, it's a need, it's something that we need to bring and show the other children so they can also have their culture represented there. So I really want to see that come true. I know it's not easy, but I know Mr. Ramos does have a lot to do with that, and he's done a good job. He's done a very good job. So anyway, thank you all.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Little, for hosting us. It's been very important to see SYEA and CSCA here this evening. These are things that we need to hear. So keep the pressure on us. Ms. La Rosa's like, are you sure? But one of our asks is that we just are as expeditious and quick as possible with this year's negotiations. I know that this is the last that we want to keep prolonged on top of everything else that needs to be done, on top of safety concerns, on top of just day-to-day living, day-to-day teaching and working. So that's been our ask of Dr. Potter and Ms. Adrienne, is let's resolve this as quickly and amicably as possible, because the last thing we want is for members of either union to feel unappreciated or undervalued. And it is hard to hear that. It's hard to hear that that's the feeling. But we're gonna do all, I speak for myself, all that we can to do the maximum possible while keeping this district intact and afloat and above water. And that will be our absolute best. But I think that we all trust one another. I hope that we trust one another. And if not, that's something that we need to repair on our side. So we appreciate your presence here today. I know that these meetings can feel difficult, but it's necessary. And we appreciate you showing up and your team. It shows the unity And that's something that San Ysidro has that I don't think everywhere has. I don't think every district has what you all have here, what we have here. So it is something special, but I think we'll navigate these waters and we'll come to a place where we are all together moving in the same direction. So thank you for your patience, thank you for your understanding with us, and we will keep moving forward. Just to pivot really quickly, what we've seen in the last couple of decades with the tax on schools is something that we did not experience as children. School was always a place where we knew without a shadow of a doubt we were going to be safe. And this is just something that is new, and I know that as we are embarking on our master facilities improvements, something that we've talked about looking at is what can we do, where can we put some of the scope on money to improve safety on the school sites. And I know that making single point of entries, and there's changes like that we've done, but I feel like there is still more we can do. To Ms. Lopez's point, you know, proper cameras, proper visibility, and really as it relates to our safety response, what do our drills look like? And I even hate to use the word, our active shooter drills. And that's something that as a board member, I don't think I've been a part of ever in my life. And I think that that's something that we need to make sure that we're apprised of. It's a necessary evil, unfortunately, but that's the world that we live in. And until we can provide more intervention as a state, as a country, more resources, like Ms. Lopez was talking about, to intervene and do what we can for students, because sometimes these sorts of things happen from within. As of recent, they've been kind of external and they're not coming from within, which says that San Ysidro is doing what it can do with what we have to provide emotional and mental health support, wraparound services for our students, to make sure that, to the point of some of our speakers, you all are almost like psychologists in the classroom, and that is above and beyond what you've been asked to do in the past. And unfortunately, it's the nature of kids coping with what's been going on the last couple of years. So hats off to you, but there's more I believe we can do to provide more services on site. And that's something that I would like us to look at. And I know that's something we're already looking at, especially coming into this new year. And on that note, I'm looking forward to maybe hearing an update on the master facilities plan and how everything is going with BDM and some of the other school sites and the plans for Bayer. I know that that's been something we've been getting a lot of questions on. So I know we'll be hearing about that in the coming months. Have a nice evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight.
Mr. Lobo, thank you for having us here tonight. In regards to La Mirada, again, I'd like to thank all the staff for the wonderful job you did that day. About a month ago, there was a series of incidents at San Ysidro High School, and I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but there was some furor online about it for that whole week and maybe sometime after. And I think it's testament to the good job that La Mirada staff did, that it was quiet. It was super quiet. People just said, you could go pick up the kids at the rec center. And other than that, there was no, talking about, oh, staff did this or staff did that, or nobody knew what was happening. So it is a testament to what a good job was done that day. I do want to express gratitude to both Dr. Potter and or whoever her designee may be on any given day. I know when things have been happening, I'll shoot her a text. But Ms. Colom helped one day when Dr. Potter was out of town, and they were quick to get back and keep the board informed as to what was going on in case we need to reach out to some of our community partners. So, our district's working. And in that same note, in regards to negotiations, one of the things I'd like to personally guarantee to both of our labor groups. I've sat through my fair share of some very dense webinars, so I know that we're not going to be hiding money in different accounts. I know all about account codes and line items and what to look for. So I can guarantee you, at least on my part, that's one of the reasons I ran 4 years ago for board, is to keep an eye on stuff like that. So at the very least, we're going to make sure that there's no clever accounting, and you can be guaranteed some fair dealings in that regard. On a lighter note, I'd just like to say it happened because this happened last week. I was at a pottery game. And the teacher came up to me to say hello, to introduce herself and say hello. And she told me she had thought about it. She said she walked over a couple times and then went back to her family. And she finally just said, oh, I'm just gonna say hello. As Mr. Burcia can attest, I'm very approachable out in the wild. I encourage it. I'm giving high fives to everybody. So, I mean, if you see me, even I've stopped to with people, I always end up running into people during breaks or lunch or something at 7-Eleven. If I've got a minute, I'll stop and talk. So go Padres. Dr. Barron?
Good evening, everyone. Just 3 topics. One, to say thank you to Mr. Little and Smythe for hosting our board meeting this evening. We greatly appreciate it. The second, to just talk about the La Mirada incident a little bit. You know, I don't take a lot of days off, and I happened to have taken that Monday off last week. My daughter had no school, and I was going to be out of town working the rest of the week, Tuesday to Friday. And it was my last day to spend some time with her to do that very important thing, which is to make sure she's okay, because her homecoming, her first in-person homecoming for her school was going to be on Saturday. And I knew if I left her with my wonderful husband, her dad, that I'm not quite sure what the dress would have looked like, or the shoes or anything else. So I felt compelled to spend some time, very rare time that I spend with my daughter on Monday. Of all the days to be with my daughter, I get an emergency call from Ms. Colomb on Monday with the fact that we've got a domestic violence incident happening in a house down the street in front of La Mirada. And I've spent about 20 years of my life on school safety, right? I have been the incident commander of school safety issues for the last 2 decades. And I immediately begin saying to Ms. Colombo on the phone, oh my goodness, we need the police. And then I say, oh, we might need the SWAT team, right? And I'm starting, and I say to my daughter, I'm so sorry, I can't help you right now. And she sits there for about 2 hours while she watches me on the phone, on and off on the phone the entire day last Sunday, trying to navigate from the phone with Ms. Colomb, talking to Ms. English, the principal, how to navigate this incident to make sure that all of the students and all of the staff are safe. And I was so grateful that Captain Sines, the captain of the police department, picked up her cell phone multiple times on Monday to respond to Ms. Colomb's calls, to give her as many updates as possible so that we had the intel we needed to keep the school safe. I could not have been more thankful or grateful to our La Mirada team, to Ms. Colomb and Luis Ramos, who without thinking stopped everything that they were doing to go to that school and deploy, and to keep me on the phone multiple times to make sure the school was safe. It was very tenuous at one point because we were trying to figure out, are they able to de-escalate the situation with the individual that was in the house. And so for our teachers who had students all day long in lockdown, if you've never had that experience, my student teaching career, I was in lockdown immediately. I had to save 600 lives of children, and all 600 were saved, and the entire staff was saved, and I've done it multiple times. It's a very scary situation. It's something that you never forget in the career of your life. And so to La Mirada staff, thank you. Thank you for making sure that you always stay by the side of your students. And please know that Ms. Colomb and I, in our mightiest of power with the San Diego Police Department, had a keenly tight communication portal, and we knew step by step what was happening with that incident to make sure that you all were safe. And the details of lunch and recess and even dismissal from the back of the school through a recreation department instead of from the front of the school were all very tightly aligned and strategically planned. So thank you so much, La Mirada. And just one last clap for La Mirada, please. Tomorrow morning, Ms. Colon and I will be joining the La Mirada staff at about 8:15. They have some debrief notes for us of what they felt worked well as a staff and things that they felt they needed a better handle on in terms of what we could do better as a staff and as a district to support all of the schools, not just their school in that situation. So I'm grateful to have the time with them tomorrow morning to listen, to extend gratitude, and to really continue our safety proactive steps to ensure that when these things happen, we all know what to do and we have the tools we need to keep everyone safe. The second thing is when I showed up today, I was grateful, Natalie, I knew that our teachers would be here. And I was just so grateful by the professional way in which I had been told that we're going to come. And I felt so incredibly safe to walk down the line of teachers with their signs, to try to be as respectful as possible, to deeply listen and to try to read what was on the signs, and to let you all know in my own way how much I deeply care about each and every one of you. So I want to say thank you for making it safe for me to walk down that line of signs before this board meeting. And thank you for those of you who took the time to talk to me, to let me know how you feel. I appreciate that you let me know. It matters. In our district and our governance team, we highly value our staff here and our colleagues here at Ysidro. And what you need to know is that we are listening to you, and we are very much committed as a district to working collaboratively with you through this. I do believe we will reach a resolution that will be positive for both the district's budget and fiscal solvency, and also to take into account the incredible inflation that our staff members are trying to survive right now. So thank you for caring enough to come this evening. And please know how much you deeply and how much I deeply value our family here at Ysidro. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Barron. Item 12.1, we're going to have a presentation from Rachel Sanders from PARS on PARS Supplemental Retirement Program.
Good evening, President of the board members, Dr. Potter and Cabinet. Glad to be here this evening. So I have a presentation to share with all of you that will overview an early retirement incentive offering proposed for the school district this year. So I think we have a presentation and hopefully perfect. It looks like, all right, that's it. So I'll get started here by saying that some of you may remember, we actually did an early retirement incentive for the school district back in the 2019-2020 school year, and that was successful. And so this year we are looking to potentially offer it again to eligible employees that would be able to retire under either CalPERS or CalSTRS this year. So I'll start by just on this first page going through what this process would look like. So as a reminder, this is ultimately a voluntary option that employees would have. So it's really meant to be a win-win for both the district's employees to reward them for their service with the district, but also to create fiscal savings and really help with some of the objectives for the district moving forward. So ultimately, when these plans are offered, we typically suggest opening up a 45 to 60-day window where employees are able to get all of the information that they need to ultimately decide if this is something that's going to work for their personal circumstances. So we've been working with staff to make sure that we can set up those meetings and educational sessions for employees. I know that STRS and PERS are also going to be coming out. And so again, folks will have ample time to make sure that this is something that will make sense for them. Now, during that 45 to 60-day window, employees will be able to ask all the questions that they need, fill out their paperwork, turn it into PARS, and then it will really be at the end of that window that PARS will be able to assess what the ultimate fiscal savings are based on those that actually did enroll in the plan. So if the board were to adopt this resolution, you are effectively allowing the window to open so that we can then see what savings this would yield at the end of the window. If the plan were to move forward, which we will share the results with you once the window is closed, ultimately, everyone who signs up for the plan would be moving into either retirement or otherwise work elsewhere at the end of the school year. If for whatever reason the board decides not to move forward with the plan at the end of the window, all letters of resignation would be automatically rescinded, and employees would then have the choice as to whether or not they wish to ultimately resign or retire at the end of the school year. All right, so on the next slide, you can see the proposed plan design. So this is actually the same design that we saw with the school district back in the 1920 school year. So there are two different levels of benefit to be considered, a 70% of final pay and a 100% of final pay benefit. And those levels of final pay are really going to be dependent upon the number of employees in each employee group that does enroll in the plan. So ultimately, I'll share with you what our projections are and what those numbers would need to be. But again, based on the enrollment numbers, an employee would receive either 70 or 100% of his or her final pay, and that would be paid through a 403B annuity through Pacific Life Insurance Company. This would be funded over 5 years, and then based on the option that the employee chooses, Pacific Life Insurance Company would pay out those monthly benefits to the employee. On the next slide, we actually go into the different options available. So I know it looks a little bit small on the screen, so I'll really just in broad strokes explain that ultimately employees have choice and flexibility when it comes to these early retirement incentives. And so the district is funding this over 5 years, which means that the earliest someone could get their money would be over a 5-year period, but they actually have 14 different ways in which they could take their payout. So what you're looking at on this page is an example for your average certificated non-management eligible employee. So that person makes close to $100,000 on average, and they are going to have basically 14 options, whether it's a 70% of final pay or 100% of final pay, for how they actually get this benefit. There are 3 different lifetime options available. Those are going to be similar to what they would get under CalSTRS or CalPERS. And there are varying levels of fixed term payment options. So as I mentioned, because this is funded over 5 years, option 5, which pays out monthly for 5 years, is the shortest term period that someone would be able to take their benefit. But you can see there, very nice payouts over those 5-year periods in both scenarios for these folks. And they can actually take their payments up to a 15-year fixed term monthly. And so from the district's perspective, it costs you the same thing no matter what option an employee takes. It really does just give them flexibility and potential tax advantages based on the option that they choose. And then the next slide for your reference is an example of your classified non-management confidential employees. So you can see how at different salary levels, obviously the percentage of pay is going to ultimately yield different benefit amounts based on what they do choose. But again, all of these are certainly going to cost the district the same thing regardless of the choice made. Okay. So we will move on to the next slide, which is a fiscal summary of savings. So I mentioned that the ultimate offering is going to be contingent upon the number of enrolled employees. And so you can see here that for certificated non-management, if we see 10 to 13 employees enroll, they will be offered 70% of final pay. And if 14 or more certificated non-management employees enroll, they will receive 100% of final pay. Now, in working with staff, we understand that ultimately it's going to depend on which employees enroll and how many enroll as to what those potential replacements look like. And so for the sake of illustration tonight, we're showing you the projected fiscal impact at 50% of replacement of positions. So keep in mind that that is subject to change again based on the ultimate enrollments, but this gives you an idea of the type of savings that you might expect to see for this group. Over 5 years, potentially looking at about $2.6 million in savings, and even maybe up to $3.6 million in savings, again, based on this scenario here. Okay, and then on the next slide, we've done the same exercise for the certificated management. Because of the nature of how small this group is, if one employee does take it, this person would be offered 100% of final pay. As is the nature of management plans, typically you have to replace the manager. Therefore, we did assume full replacement, and it is typical to see losses, but of course you could even see on the previous slide that the savings from other groups should make up for that loss there. And on the next slide, classified, non-management, and confidential. In this group, if 11 to 15 employees take the, enroll in the plan, they would get 70% of final pay. 16 or more, 100% of final pay. And once again, we're showing you the projected fiscal impact at 50% replacement. So you can see there are very nice savings once again over 5 years at that level of replacement. And then we will go to the next group. Perfect, classified non-management part-time employees. 5 to 6 employees taking this plan would be offered 70% of final pay. And if 7 or more employees take this plan, that would be the offer of 100% of final pay. And again, we would expect savings over 5 years based on the 50% non-replacement in this scenario as well. And then last but not least, we have our classified management group, similar to what we saw with certificated management because of the nature of the small number of eligible employees. If this one employee did take it, there would be an offer of 100% of final pay. There are losses for this group, but again, there are projected savings in all other groups, therefore those would make up for those losses. So each of these groups would be evaluated independently. So the board would ultimately have discretion as to whether to move forward with all groups, or you could decide group by group. Finally, the last page we have here goes over the proposed timeline for this plan. So as I mentioned tonight, the board would be authorizing the opening of this enrollment window. Again, this is a contingent offering. So by opening up the enrollment window, we proceed with the understanding that we will come back to you with the final results of this plan to make sure that you're comfortable moving forward, assuming it's met both your fiscal and operational objectives of the district. We would mail out individualized packets to all eligible employees. If you did decide to move forward tonight, they would get those in the next week or so. And we would also then come out soon thereafter to do a group orientation meeting where once again, we'll walk them through the plan, make sure everyone is fully apprised of what this offering is, and allow them to ask any questions. Toward the end of the window, we'll actually come back the week of January 3rd to do one-on-one workshops with all employees, help them fill out their paperwork, answer any questions, and then the deadline would be January 6th. So again, we will bring this forward to the board to share with you the final results at January 26th board meeting, and then you have the ability to vote on whether or not to move forward. If you do move forward, all employees who have enrolled would resign from employment at the end of the school year, and then their benefit payments would start effective August 1st of 2023. So I know that's a lot of information to digest, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
That definitely wasn't dense. Any questions from the board?
The only thing is make sure everybody who's eligible get, you mentioned that they're gonna get the opportunity to look at it, so.
Yes,
great.
yes, absolutely.
And I took this many years back, because I retired from the school district after 40 years, but it is, I kept telling others, you should take it, because we're not gonna be able to offer it. And we did, we lasted many years before we were able to again offer it. And now, the future is your life right now. Enjoy it while you can. So I think we'll have a good amount of people going.
Ms. Rosario, do you have any questions?
No, I'm really glad that, our district is having this opportunity to offer, when I was around, it used to be called the Golden Handshake, I think it still is, with an opportunity to have some income to get some of those bucket list, dreams completed. And I just think that, having dedicated so many years to this profession, many teachers deserve to have this bonus, and employees all across. It's everyone that makes the district work. And unfortunately, it can't happen every year. So when it does, really think about it and make a really good choice for your life. So that's, thank you for the presentation. That was very thorough, and I appreciate that greatly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms.
All right,
Sanders.
thank you, appreciate it.
We're going to move on to item 13.1. Approval of the minutes. So moved. Mr. Martinez makes the motion.
Second.
Ms. Lopez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes by unanimous vote. Item 13.2 is resolution number 22/23-0021, continuing governing board authority to hold virtual meetings pursuant to AB 361.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Palacio makes the motion, Mr. Martinez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Faria? Mr. Faria?
I'm sorry, I didn't
vote?
hear. Sometimes it's kind of gets cuts off. I'm sorry?
Your vote on 13.2. Ms. Palacio made the motion and Mr. Martinez was the second.
Yes, I vote yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 5-0. 13.3 is resolution number 22/23-0023, celebrating National Hispanic Heritage Month.
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
Ms. Palacio makes the motion, Ms. Lopez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.4 was vacated by closed session action. So we'll move to 13.5, the first reading and adoption of revised board policy and exhibits the 0 series. So moved.
Second.
Mr. Martinez makes the motion, Ms. Palacio is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Also passes by a vote of 5-0. 13.6 is the first reading and adoption of a revised administrative regulation and exhibits the 1000 series.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Lopez makes the motion, Mr. Martinez is the second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.7 is the first reading and adoption of revised board policies and administrative regulations, 4000 series.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Ms. Palacio makes the motion, Mr. Martinez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.8 is deleting board policy 4218.1, dismissal, suspension, disciplinary action of the merit system. So moved. Mr. Martinez makes the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Palacio is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Also passes by unanimous vote. 13.9 is the first reading and adoption of revised board policies and administrative regulations, 6000 series. So moved.
Seconded.
Mr. Martinez makes the motion, Ms. Lopez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.10 is the first reading and adoption of revised board policies and administrative regulation 7000 series. So moved.
I
Mr.
second.
Martinez makes, Ms. Palacio is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Also passes by unanimous vote. 13.11 is the first reading and adoption of revised board bylaw 9100 organization.
Make the motion.
I'll
I second.
Ms. Palacio makes the motion. Ms. Lopez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes by unanimous vote. Mr. Zara, it's gonna be hard for you because you're on a delay.
I'll keep raising my hand.
13.12 is adopt resolution number 22/23-0022, amending the district's conflict of interest code.
I'll make the motion.
Ms. Palacio makes the motion.
I'll second it.
Ms. Lopez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes by unanimous vote. 13.13 is amend COVID prevention plan.
So moved.
Slow down a little bit.
Mr. Martinez makes the motion.
I second.
Yeah, Ms. Rosario makes the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.14 is the appointment of director to the San Ysidro Schools Public Financing Corporation. So moved. Mr. Martinez makes the motion.
Seconded.
Ms. Lopez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.15, resolution number 22/23-0024 to establish temporary interfund borrowing of special or restricted fund monies. So moved. Martinez makes the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Palacio is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.16 is resolution number 22/23-0025, requesting a temporary transfer of funds for fiscal year 22-23.
Make the motion.
Ms. Lopez makes the motion.
I second.
I'll let Mr. Rosario.
Ms. Rosario makes the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.17, resolution number 22/23-0026, supplemental retirement plan for 2022-2023.
So moved.
I make the motion.
Mr. Martinez, seconded by Ms. Lopez. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.18 is resolution number 22/23-0027, CalShape program grant acceptance and agreement with California Energy Commission.
I'll make the motion.
Ms. Palacios makes the motion.
I'll second it.
Ms. Lopez makes the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.19 is the closeout of the 1997 general obligation bond measure proposition C.
So moved.
Mr. Martinez makes the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Palacios the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.20 is the memorandum of understanding between the San Ysidro School District and the San Ysidro Education Association regarding independent study for the 2022-2023 school. So moved. Mr. Martinez makes the motion.
I second.
Ms. Lopez. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.21, memorandum of understanding between the San Ysidro School District and the San Ysidro Education Association regarding COVID leave and teacher-parent gatherings for the 2022-2023 school year. So moved. Mr. Martinez is the motion.
I second.
Ms. Lopez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes by unanimous vote. 13.22, memorandum of understanding between the San Ysidro School District and California School Employees Association regarding COVID leave for the 2022-2023 school year. So moved. Mr. Martinez makes the motion.
I second it.
Ms. Lopez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Passes by unanimous vote. 13.23 is the memorandum of understanding between the San Ysidro School District and the California School Employees Association regarding COVID-related duties for the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved. Oh, second.
Ms. Lopez makes the motion. Mr. Martinez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Passes by unanimous vote. 13.24, memorandum of understanding between the San Ysidro School District and California School Employees Association regarding job descriptions. Mr. Martinez makes the motion. Ms. Lopez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Passes by unanimous vote. 13.25 is a memorandum of understanding by and between San Ysidro School District and California School Employees Association regarding the reclassification for warehouse distribution associate. So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Martinez makes the motion. Ms. Lopez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Also passes by unanimous vote. 13.26 is the revised substitute salary schedule.
I'll make the motion.
Ms. Lopez makes the motion.
I second.
Ms. Rosario is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes by unanimous vote. Item 14 is the consent calendar. All items appearing are adopted by one single motion. There will be no discussion of these items prior to consideration of the motion unless a member of the board or the superintendent requests that any such item may be removed of the consent calendar and voted on separately. So moved. Mr. Martinez makes the motion.
Second.
Ms. Palacios makes the second. I'm going to pull items 14C1, 14C2, and 14C3. Ms. Rosario, do you have any polls?
No.
Mr. Martinez?
Nope.
Ms. Lopez?
I did want to pull one that I won. But, no.
Ms. Palacios?
No.
Dr. Potter? Please vote. We're all of them except 14C1, C2, C3. There's one single motion.
Aye.
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 Motion passes by a vote of 5-0. We're gonna go to item 14C1. Approve the employment for the following as recommended by staff. 14C1 is Assistant Superintendent for Administrative Leadership, School Support and Safety, Jose Inguez. Motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Ms. Palsiga makes the motion, Mr. Martinez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes by a vote of 5-0.
Let's do all of them now, yeah.
14C2 is Assistant Superintendent of Educational Leadership and Pupil Services.
So
Russ Sullivan.
I'll second.
Mr. Martinez makes the motion, Ms. Palsiga is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And then we have item 14C3 is a temporary assistant principal for Sunset and Willow.
I'll make the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. It is
Richard Troy. Ms. Martinez, I believe you made the second?
Yes, I'll make the second.
Or,
I
sorry.
made the first, I think.
Ms. Palsiga made the motion, Mr. Martinez is the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes by 5-0.
one at a time then. Let's go ahead and start with Dr. Jose, I'm gonna say it right, watch, Iniguez. Did I get it right?
Absolutely.
Please, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to just share a little bit about you. I'm happy to welcome. Oh, you want me to come over there? I'll go here so everyone can see, you stay there. They're gonna come out. I'm happy to welcome Dr. Jose Iniguez to the San Ysidro School District family as our new Assistant Superintendent of Administrative Leadership, School Support, and Safety. Dr. Iniguez has served as an executive coach at the National Center for Urban School Transformation, or NCUS, for the past 3 years. Along with his role at NCUS, Dr. Iniguez serves as Director of Mission Vista and Cabrillo Point Academy. Prior to his current positions, he was the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services for Fallbrook Union High School District for 5 years. San Ysidro's better. And as the Director of Educational Services for 1 year. Dr. Iniguez served as principal of the Los Angeles Unified School District and Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District, as well as an assistant principal at Centinela Valley Union High School District. He earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science from UC Berkeley, go Bears, a Master's of Arts in Administrative Leadership from CSU Northridge, as well as a Master's of Arts in Education from UCLA, go Bruins. He possesses a Doctor of Jurisprudence Law from the University of California School of Law, Los Angeles, and a Doctorate of Education from the University of UCLA, Los Angeles, go Bruins again. Dr. Iniguez brings a wealth of experience and expertise to our school district as a proven educational leader and visionary. And I just would say, he's also one of us. He's really, his life story matches many of the children in our district. And so congratulations and welcome to our district.
Thank you so much, Board President Lopez, members of the board. I'm very grateful. I do not take this lightly, and I am wanting to say that this is very important for me, but my family could not join me tonight, so we didn't take it for granted, but you know how work obligations go. But thank you so much, very much appreciated, and looking forward to being a part of the community and the professional family here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have to wait that way.
Over here, sorry. Thank you. Picture. Oh, over here. Yeah, over there.
Thank you.
Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Keep going. Sorry. All right, Mr. Little, will you come on up, please? I see you're here with your beautiful wife and one of your 3 daughters, so I can embarrass you properly.
Yeah. I think I have 2 daughters connected somewhere out there.
Oh, they're
Yes, yeah, I think
watching.
so.
Oh, that's wonderful. By YouTube then?
Yes.
Yes. All right, well, Mr. Russell Little, it is my privilege to welcome you to our district, not new to our district because you've soundly served and well served Smythe as their principal, but congratulate you as our new Assistant Superintendent of Educational Leadership and Pupil Services. Mr. Little has proudly served as principal at Smythe Elementary School for the past 4 years. During his tenure at Smythe, Mr. Little and his team increased student achievement, including increasing reclassification of English language learners, and helped create a culture of respect and positive relationships among students, staff, families, and community. I can soundly say that the Smythe family loves you. Prior to joining the San Ysidro School District family, Mr. Little served as a principal in the Lemon Grove School District for 15 years and as assistant principal for 6 years. Before going to Lemon Grove, he was a teacher and assistant principal in Calexico Unified School District. He possesses a Bachelor's of Arts degree in political science, French, Spanish, and a Master's of Education in Curriculum and Applied Linguistics. He actually speaks 5 languages. From the University of New Mexico and an Administrative Services credential from San Diego State University. Go Aztecs. Mr. Little, welcome to the district's team. We look forward to your contributions for our students, staff, and families. Felicidades.
Muchas gracias. Governing board members, Dr. Potter, I just want to thank you for this, and I just want to recognize the person behind me is my wife, Sylvia, and one of my daughters that made the right choice to stay in San Diego, Maya.
Mr. Little, bring your whole family up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take a picture.
Thank you so much.
We'll put you in the middle, right in the middle between the president and right, yeah, right there. Right there, buddy. Right there, perfect.
Mr. Little, congratulations. I send you our heartfelt, warm hug, and we're going to have lots of conversations about dual language. Congratulations.
All right, here we go.
I know you'll listen.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last one, Mr. Richard Troya, would you please come up? I'm happy to welcome Mr. Troya to our district as our new assistant principal between 2 of our schools. Willow and Sunset, thank you. At Willow and Sunset. And just a little bit about his background. He has a Master's of Education degree in Educational Leadership from Brandman University. He also has a Bachelor's of Science, Sports Management from the University of Massachusetts. Very cold there. And then in elementary school, he has served as elementary school principal for almost 14 years at 3 different schools, Rejoice Christian School, Fremont Christian School, and Horizon Prep. Prior to serving as a principal, he was a math teacher, mathematics and algorithms and all of that. He was a math teacher for about 17 years, taught algebra for the Union Intermediate High School in Oklahoma. And he also taught math at Amador Valley High School in Pleasanton, California. And then also taught math and was the math chairperson at Valley Christian Junior Senior High in Dublin, California. Welcome to San Ysidro. You've landed in the best spot.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Burciaga.
Okay, ready? Here we go. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, welcome to the family. Item number 15, unfortunately, we're adjourning, but not to go home, we're adjourning back into closed session. So we'll entertain a motion to adjourn back into closed session at 7:37.
Before we adjourn, I just want, go into closed session, I just want to give a thank you to our IT team, because this is the first time we're having an actual hybrid meeting, where you have one person in Zoom and the others in,
It was
it's the first time, so I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. I also want to say thank you, and thank you to Miguel for all your support and reminding me, because I'm actually an hour later than all of you. So I just want to make sure that it's almost my bedtime, but I'm not going to sleep yet. This is a great meeting. So thank you so much for all your support and for providing this hybrid meeting. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll make the motion to recess.
I second. Okay, it might be delayed. I third.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes by, go Padres.
Grace.
call the meeting back to order at 8:29 PM. We have nothing to report from closed session, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Martinez makes the motion and Ms. Passigue makes the second to adjourn at 8:29 PM. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes by this vote. Go Padres.
Go Padres.
Padres.
Kevin.
Thank you.